U.S. Our top story this hour, Great Britain, one of the world's most powerful countries, says a global bank tax is around the corner. But is the U.S. behind this idea? And what would a global bank tax mean? RT's Anastasia Churkina joins us now from our New York studio to help us figure it out. And Anastasia, you are wearing a beautiful color today. Just thought I would point that out. Want to know, we hear a lot about possible punishments for the banks. What is the latest that is being talked about right now about that possibility that this could actually happen?
Well, Christine, the latest that we have is the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Gordon Brown, has been saying that top world economies are close to striking a deal on an international global bank tax. Now, he's saying this deal could materialize as soon as this summer at the G20 summit in Canada. Gordon Brown is saying that after Obama's bank tax proposals, more countries in the international community have been showing interest in this idea of a global bank tax because this would be an extra way to make some additional money, plus cover the costs of the 2008 and 2009 bank taxes, which has bank bailouts, which have basically seen hundreds of billions of dollars spent. But Gordon Brown is warning that this tax is probably not going to be as high as some might want it to be. But the main problem of this global bank tax is basically that countries are having a hard time figuring out exactly what this tax would be, the details of how it would work, and what would be the substance of this new rule if it is imposed. Now, Gordon Brown has been playing around with the idea of a so-called Tobin tax, and basically what this means is a tax on financial transactions. Initially, the idea of a Tobin tax was created by a scholar and economist who said that this kind of tax would end up creating a common currency for countries and create some sort of economic integration. So this is just to give you some sort of background on what it means. However, the United States has said it would not back this sort of proposal, but we have seen Barack Obama last month propose a bank tax that would get up to $117 billion back, supposedly, to the American people, collecting this money from the banks. But Obama has also suggested he came up with this Volcker rule, which would limit bank sizes and trading activities. And it's interesting to note that countries like France, Great Britain, and Germany have supported this idea. However, guess what? They're not going to follow suit. So what we have for now is the International Monetary Fund is supposed to come up with some sort of outline by April where they would kind of identify what this global bank tax would be. So some are saying that it is going to be very different from Obama's plan. So far, there's a lot of speculation in what this idea could really turn out to be. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there.
And you mentioned that you think that it's possible that this idea could materialize as soon as this summer?
Absolutely. Gordon Brown is saying that at least in principle, countries could agree on this deal of imposing this global bank tax in Canada in the summer. But the problem here is that if they do agree in principle, analysts are saying it could still take a very long time to come up with the details. They're saying it could take up to years. And for now, we have the United States saying it's not supporting the specifics of Gordon Brown's plan. And we have South Korea, which is presiding in the G20 this year, saying they're not going to follow this idea of a global bank tax. They're saying they don't like Gordon Brown's Tobin tax, but they're also seeing Obama's proposals as something too domestic. And they say they have absolutely no obligations to follow suit of these developed countries, of these world economies. So it looks like global coordination is going to be a lot harder than it may seem at first glance.
All right, Anastasia Churkina joining us from the United States financial capital.